Welcome to Mondays with Mark, the VegasTourist.com podcast, episode number 254. Hit it, Carl. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready, cool. Welcome, folks. This is episode number 254 of the VegasTourist.com podcast, also known as Mondays with Mark. And I'm getting that strange look from this woman sitting across from me. Her name is Debbie.
Yeah, you're not doing this by yourself. What the heck?
And we are being supervised by?
Jake and Claire.
All right.
Who don't understand why I'm upstairs and not downstairs on a Sunday afternoon.
Exactly. All right, for those of you that are new, because, well, it's been a while since this podcast has been aired. I'm Mark Anthony. I am the host of the Vegas Tourist website. I love helping people discover new things to see, do, and experience while visiting Las Vegas and beyond.
And the beyond is the part I enjoy.
That's the part you enjoy. The last podcast was actually number 253, which was published on February 20th, 2019. So it's been almost a year.
So we're doing this annually then, is that?
Yeah.
Is this our New Year's resolution to do this more often?
So why has it been so long?
Because I started going to school, number one. That would be
your side.
That'd be my excuse.
My very first podcast, episode number 1, was June 17th, 2006.
That was a little while ago.
Then I was joined with my friend Sazzy. She joined me in July of 2006, and we continued off and on until 2014 of April of 2014. And then we kind of went our own ways for a variety of reasons. And then in January of 2016, I fired it up solo. And then, of course, February of 2019, I kind of went cold. Now, for those of you that are curious on just what the hell happened, there's probably two of you out of
our two greatest fans?
Yes. Thank you, Paul. The podcast feed is hosted on what's called Libsyn. They host a whole lot of other podcasts. And one day I was looking at my analytics, and there was nothing there. And I looked onto my feed, and my feed wasn't there. They were gone. I've been working with Libsyn for over 10 years. Mm-hmm. So I sent them an email going, hey, what happened?
What's up, folks?
And they shot back going, well, you erased it. So here is a guide to show you how to start over. I am not a newbie. I'm not an idiot. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been paying you guys for 10 years. And that's my response is go fix it yourself?
Yeah.
Go F yourself, guys. And so I just kind of let it die out. Didn't do anything with it. Really had a feeling that Vegas wasn't doing it for me anymore.
Yeah, you kind of lost interest a little bit. But there wasn't a whole lot going on.
Too much bullshit.
Yeah, too much politics going on the Strip and too much Raider talk, and we weren't real popular. That's not like our favorite topic to talk about. Not that we're against getting a football team, but anyway.
And then you were going to school.
And then I started going to school, yeah.
So we
can't get our schedules to sync up. So.
We didn't jump in the Jeep and go anywhere.
Yeah, so then there was nothing to talk about.
Right. So anyway, it's like,
it has been a tough 2019.
It was.
It really was a tough year.
It was. And so when, it's one of those things that I don't know, fate.
Yeah.
Things happen.
You started questioning your reason for being and
it's just
your path in life.
Well, it's just, there's 1,000 other podcasts and YouTube channels dedicated to Vegas, and it's like, I don't want to do another here's the buffet at the Mirage. I'm going with my wife who has lap band and can only nibble.
Right. So let's go waste $30 for no
Yeah.
reason.
So I went back looking at my analytics, and the most popular shows, both as podcast, well, can't really say that on the podcast because I didn't have the analytics, or I didn't have the full ones, but on the YouTube channel that had some of the podcasts on it, the most popular ones were actually things that weren't that normal.
Of course, people like abnormal. That's what gets us out there.
Exactly. More specific. The analytics were showing we want something that is very specific, not just we walked through the Luxor. No, they want
because lots of people can walk through the Luxor.
Yeah.
And you can Google that. You can look that up. Tell us something we don't know,
Right.
and do it in a way that's entertaining.
right. Okay. What happened to the Luxor? Okay.
And why?
Yeah.
Tell us a funny story about it.
Yeah, and then like when I get into the discussions on some of the Facebook's group, I just want to reach through and bitch slap some of these idiots.
Oh, the ones that say, where should I stay when I come there?
Yeah. What's your budget?
What are you interested in?
Yeah.
What are you coming here for?
What's a good restaurant?
McDonald's? What do you want to spend? What do you like?
Rubicon. Yeah, I can show you a $300 meal, and I can show you a $3 meal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or
Yeah, you can find that information on the internet.
Yeah. Kind of coming back to where I started here. These people are like, well, the Flamingo was the first resort on the Strip.
Not even close.
Where
Where do you get your info?
Yeah, it's like I have.
But see, now that's the information that is interesting, is because you know this history. You know this town. So when somebody points at a building or gives some kind of really interesting information about the mob or something that happened in Vegas 50 years ago, that's interesting. You can go in and you could say, okay, guys, let me set the record straight. I actually interviewed so-and-so.
Yeah.
This is the scoop. This is what I really know. And this is the story that I was told. That stuff is what people want to hear, the real people stories.
Actually, it was.
Well, that's what I want to hear.
Well, yes,
I can't
right.
tell you what everybody wants to hear.
But I'll tell you this: it was really my last little tirade on a Facebook group. This lady was explaining why she hated staying at the Rio, because to get to the Rio, to the Strip, you got to walk under the freeway. And I went on there and I went, I don't know what hotel you're talking about. There is no underpass
Under the freeway.
unless you're going through the storm sewers.
Right.
Okay. Yes, then that's going to take you 30 minutes. But there is a caged walkway over the interstate, and it's.
Now, see, that's information people need to know.
She comes back and goes, well, every time I've stayed there, I've always had to go under the interstate. And I'm just like, do you charge? A couple of people caught what I was getting at.
Because that's that corner.
Yeah. But she swore up and down, that's why I stopped staying at the Rio. I'm like, okay.
Nope, I'm sorry.
What?
Nice try.
So anyway, coming into the end of 2019, I knew what I liked and I knew what I wanted. And looking at the analytics of what people liked on YouTube jived with what I was thinking.
Right. Because, well, number one, you want to give a real service.
Right.
And number two, you want to entertain. You want to give people something that makes them want to come and listen.
Well, then, so I forgot what I was doing, but I was in Boulder City, and when you go through Boulder City to Hoover Dam, you come to the top of the hill there. If you turn around, or if you're coming from the dam into Boulder City.
The pit stop. You're going to talk about the pit stop.
No, I'm not.
What? Whoops.
Thank you for reminding me of that place.
That's our favorite place. What are you talking about?
But you come to the top, and there's a house there.
Oh, okay.
And there's always this decoration in front welcoming you to Boulder City,
Right.
historic Boulder City. Well, I was taking photos of this, and I saw the window shade move, and I'm like, okay,
It's haunted.
Oh, I'm not going down that road. No. But I'm like, okay, I better go up and just.
Yeah, you went into ghost hunting mode.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
So I knock on the door, and this wonderful lady answers. I'm like, look, I'm not a stalker. I'm a tour guide. And I always love the decorations in front of your house, and that's what I'm photographing. Is that part of like the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce? Is this part of the city? And she goes, no, it's me. I'm an artist. That is awesome. And then, she goes, well, you know whose house this is? I'm like, I think it's yours.
Yeah, I think that's what you just told me. You never know in this town.
Yeah. She goes, these brick houses up here were the manager's houses. These were the originals.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And then you got lost in conversation. Let me guess.
Well, so then she invites me into the house. And
Is that near the museum that we went to?
it was close to the L.A. Power and Water House.
The one that we
Right.
got
Yep.
to walk through.
Yep.
Okay.
So she had these designs all over, these boards and all that, saying the Boulder City Company store. I said, wow, and then she had diagrams. She actually had the original diagrams to her house.
Wow.
And it had a basement. Well, I didn't know that. She almost let me see the basement, but her daughter lives down there.
Oh,
And her daughter was making lunch or something.
if there'd have been historical stuff down there,
Oh, my
she
God.
might have had trouble getting you not to go down.
Well, she was talking about how she is going to recreate the company store as a coffee shop in downtown Boulder City.
Ah,
And she's got the logos and all that. This is so freaking cool.
yeah.
And she fired me back up again. Well, so every now and then I would stop in to see how far she was going, and then finally it opened. And, she gave me the grand tour. And, and she's a lifelong Boulder City resident, the whole works, okay? But she was really into the history of the store because that was the gathering place for everything. Anyway, so we're going back and forth. I'm like, God, I'd love to do a podcast from here.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to you. I'd just like to sit and talk to you. I could sit, but then I went back to what I did a couple years ago for the Vegas territory when I did those interviews.
Right.
And
Those were interesting.
And I would run into someone that, she was born and raised in Boulder City.
And they had really information to share that you...
And so that whole interview just took a left turn.
Right. One of those 15-minute interviews that last 3.5 hours. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I'm talking to Tara about this, and she's like, well, yeah, you can do them here if you want.
Uh-oh.
If I want. I am standing in the men's shop, what was the men's shop, in 1931.
Wow. Just
Next
the history.
door, it was the barber shop, which is now her coffee shop.
Now, if you can find some of the original photos of that time period.
She's got them.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
You don't see this, but over here she printed up a whole bunch of newspapers from Boulder City from that era. Boulder City School to be built soon. Intake tower, phase of dam, work begun. Future prospect of Hoover Dam town discussed.
Wow.
This was from Volume 1, number 161, March 11th, 1932. This was the paper.
Oh, my.
She has like 6 different, and she sells this stuff.
Commemorating the first birthday of Boulder City, Nevada. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
that is so cool.
And then so we're in the men's shop, which is now her store, and she's talking about the cement and the brick walls because she's having problems because to hang things on the wall, she goes, it almost takes a stick of dynamite. Okay.
Oh yeah, because back then they knew how to build concrete.
These were the guys who built the dam.
Yeah, they know how to build it where it not to go down.
She goes, look at this. This is 1931.
Yeah, but now, do you know downstairs when I put up the Christmas decorations, I literally took a thumbtack and screwed into the mortar of our fireplace to get the Christmas stockings hung?
Yeah. She goes, this thing is built like a, brick.
Yeah.
But it was her going, why don't you do the podcast here? Well, I didn't know that somebody else was doing kind of a similar show on Facebook. So I'm not competing with them because, in a sense, we're going to 2 different audiences. So for those of you that are going to compare me to the other one, two completely different audiences. Okay. But
plus the amount of history and stuff that's going to be discussed here is going to be massive, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but it's going to be entertaining because it's not like when I did those interviews. They really weren't interviews. I just kind of threw them a question. They're like, "Oh God, I remember that."
Yep. But at the same time, it also brings up the current things you can do.
Yes.
The current things you can go take your family out to do.
Yes.
The best places to go in Vegas. The best places to go out and take a quick hike. If you want to go walk your dog somewhere, try the Hoover Dam tunnels.
Right.
It's a nice walk. It's not bad. There's history through the walk, and you can walk your dogs on it.
Yeah.
So things like that are nice because it's information you can take away.
Well, it also brings up the point that the Vegas tourist as people is changing.
Yeah, and gambling is no longer the number one thing.
And the changes that are happening in Las Vegas, and I'm not talking about because of the stadium, but just the fact that MGM is about to go belly up. They're going to get a new CEO that'll hopefully understand what a resort is. Caesars being
and
bought.
What customer service?
Yes.
Yes.
Caesars, their new owners are already changing the culture back to customer.
Yeah, customers first.
Yeah, and a more personal basis, and that's what Vegas is. That's the new tourist because I'm seeing it on my tours as well.
Yeah.
I am seeing so many people who are pledging to never come back to Vegas ever again. Mm-hmm. Came here, saw it, got screwed over. I'm going to Miami.
Yeah, or anywhere else.
Yeah.
Anywhere else. I'm going to try something different next year. We've been coming here for years, but you know what? It's getting bad, and we're not going to do it again. And the lies about the fees. I hear that a lot.
Yeah. So my thing is in 2020 and 2021, Vegas, I think we're going to see a complete evolution back to when I first moved here in 2001, where you had competition on the Strip.
I would like to see Vegas go back to being
friendly.
More about friendly.
Yeah.
More about the visitor, more about people who come here.
Right.
Having that experience where they go home with something to talk about.
When I was, doing this with Tara, all of this was like lining up. All the stars were lining up. I went, okay, I got to bring the podcast back. I just have to because I just see so many good things with it because people want that. They want to hear somebody local who has lived here all of their life that go, okay, look, here's where I take my friends and family when they're in town. Yeah. Go rent a car, come out to see the.
Well, it was just like the couple we ran into this morning when we were out for breakfast. They're here because their company transferred them here. They don't even have a place to live, and they're looking.
Yeah.
What better way to look for information about the local culture, the local community, and everything else than to ask a local.
Right.
So we were able to, we met them, we had a little conversation with them, point them in the right direction for the information they were looking for.
But
And they were like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
you just changed our whole perspective of what we're going to look, where we're going to look."
right.
You know, so
and as far as the VegasTours.com goes, is tying that back into the tourist analytics. When a local has family here, where do we take them?
Yep. I liked your 3 questions you asked at the end of each interview.
Yes.
So I'd like to see that come back because
Yes.
that was very interesting. You know, you asked each person, what is your favorite Vegas movie? And what is your favorite Vegas restaurant? And some of the answers blew my mind.
Yeah.
Some of it, you didn't get the expected same old answer. You got some really different answers, and it made you want to go check those things out.
Right.
You know, it's like, wow, I never thought about that. Let's go. We should go eat there, see what
Yeah.
it's all about. Because some of them were places we'd never been.
And what is your favorite restaurant in Boulder City?
It's not a restaurant. It's a sandwich shop. And it's called the Pit Stop. And it's right on the corner of Boulder. Boulder Highway? What is that
Yeah.
road?
Uh-huh.
The cross streets of, I don't know, in downtown central Boulder City. But it's called
No.
the Pit Stop.
No, it's not downtown Boulder City, but
I don't know where it is.
it's right at the stop. Yeah.
I have it pictured.
I'll have a link on the website.
Oh
How's
my
that?
gosh. I'm telling anybody, go in there. You're going to be shocked at the fact that it's probably maybe got at the top 30 tables, small tables, friendly service, but the absolutely best food. If you order the fish and chips, and their onion rings are to die for, but they have the best food.
And some of us might say the visuals,
Yeah, they do.
and being that small restaurant,
It's very small. Sometimes if you go there on a Saturday afternoon, you're going to have to wait in line for a little bit. We've seen people sitting outside waiting to get in.
Yeah.
But it's so worth it. I mean, that's
That
my
it
number
is.
one favorite selection to go have lunch.
that it is. This year started out kind of busy. What is it?
The fifth?
Yeah.
Well, for you it has. I've been on vacation, so
Hoover Dam, Antelope Canyon.
Hoover Dam,
Death Valley.
Yeah, you haven't had a moment's breath.
That's been fun. 2 weeks from now, we are at the Jeep Jamboree in St. George, Utah.
Oh, I can't wait. Last year was our first year there, and we
That
really
was so
enjoyed
much
it.
fun. That was so freaking much fun.
Yep. So
Jeep winners are cool.
they are, and the getting up first thing in the morning before the sun rises, out in the middle of Utah to
As
see
much
the
of a
sunrise.
bitch as that is, that's so
but
well said.
watching the sunrise in Utah is just
See
gorgeous.
again, St. George is what, 2 hours away? Everything that you can do around here with a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, and there's so many different kinds of things you can do, depending on your physical abilities.
Yeah.
You could do a easy hike to doing rock climbing if you want.
Right. It's just wow. Okay. A couple of things I really want to hit on here is I had put a post up about Hard Rock, the Hard Rock closing, and it's going to close on February 3rd, and then Virgin takes it over. And I made a video on it, and I made the prediction that they are either going to sell it before they reopen.
Or the marketing is going to be hilarious.
Well, the marketing is going to be... I don't think so. I don't think they have it in them. That's why I'm saying this.
No.
They think they are either going to sell it before they open it, or they're going to go almost belly up right after they open it and have to sell it. Because
they think the property values are going to continue to go up right now, and they just bought it to resell it.
No, they don't do that.
Oh.
This is Sir Richard Branson, and Sir Richard Branson is a really, really cool dude, but he's not as smart as people make him out to be. He's just very rich.
He needs to do something with his money?
With some good calculations, okay? It's kind of like Mark Cuban that show where they buy businesses.
Okay.
Shark Tank.
Oh, Shark Tank.
Okay, all right. Richard Branson and friends started out in Europe. Remember Columbia House Records?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You
All right.
bought the first 12 for a penny, and
Right,
then you were
right.
stuck into it forever?
Well, over in Europe, back in the 60s and 70s, there was a law that you could not, that you had to make a profit. By law, you could not undercut somebody. Okay? So if it cost me $50 to make something, I had to sell it for a profit. Okay? I couldn't say, I will sell it to you for $45 to get you as my customer, and then the next one I will sell it to you for $100.
Oh, so you couldn't have that
Right.
opening
Right.
bargain.
Right. So there's always a profit margin. And by law, there's a profit margin. Okay. Branson and his buddies got around that by selling records through the mail. And so he could undercut the record stores. That's how he got his money.
Ah,
Okay. Then that forced the law to change. Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm taking nothing away from him. He's smart as a whip,
yeah, he figured out how to become rich.
and the number one key in selling is marketing.
Yep.
Just just market the hell out of it, and someone's going to buy it.
Yep. If you find the marketing key
Right.
for your product that gets it sold, that's
So it's
the bottom line.
so it's like it's like the guy who bought the Sahara, okay, and gutted it, changed it into the SLS because he had a chain of restaurants in Hollywood and Miami and Chicago. Therefore, he knew how to do this.
Mm-hmm. How's that working for him?
I'm going to take it to Vegas. I used to see this all the time as a limousine driver. In Vegas, these business guys would be talking in the back of the limo, and they're like scouting out their new retail outlet and all that, and how they're going to just change Vegas. Mm-hmm. Because they do it successfully in Chicago, and so we're going to take that owner's manual, bring it here, and
Yep. And how's that working for him?
and I'd look at them and go, 6 months, you're bankrupt.
Yep.
Vegas is a different market,
Yep.
especially when you are 3 miles off the strip.
Yep.
Now,
You're going to have to figure out how to convince them to go 3 miles off the strip. Why would they?
yeah, now they do have, because it's Virgin Airlines. Okay, they've got this huge database that they can market from, and put their hotel, whatever it's going to be, in a package.
Right.
However, Tropicana is their primary hotel now.
Mm-hmm. Which is right next to the airport and right on the strip.
Right. But for an extra $50, you can stay at MGM. For an extra $100, you can stay at the Bellagio.
Right.
Most of their customers take the upgrade.
You're right.
They
So
don't
what are you
stay at
gonna-
the Tropicana.
What are you going to do to convince somebody to stay 3 miles off the strip?
Right.
The
They're-
Hard Rock at least offered you the chance to run into rock stars,
Right.
Because the rock stars would come in and
Yeah.
play in the club,
And it
just
had the
randomly.
memorabilia,
Yeah.
and yes, it had the eye candy at the pool.
Well, yeah, and they had Magic Mike downstairs.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That club was pretty awesome
That-
too.
yes. Virgin markets themselves as kind of that stuffy first class.
Yeah, I'm still wondering how they're going to market Virgin in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Let's open up a Virgin in Sin City.
Yes, see now.
Wait a minute.
yeah.
Oh, maybe that was
Yeah.
the wrong way to say that.
Even if they do take the Vegas style of marketing, I don't see that hotel surviving because they have it in their head. We're Virgin. People are going to stay with us because we're Virgin.
Do you know who we are?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Do you know who we are? That is their attitude. When they took over and said, okay, we're going to start this remodel bit by bit, and then they realized, but they came in with that attitude, we're Virgin, we know how to do a changeover.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not in Vegas.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
Actually, the smaller companies would do better because they have to try harder, and it's about the customer.
Right.
And if people would just learn, it's about the customer. It's about the customer. give them something that makes them want to come 3 miles off the strip.
Right.
I don't see it.
Which brings us to my final topic, which is in the same vein. Phil Rufkin buying Circus Circus, which is a story all by itself, which is
took down the ships.
Which is absolutely hilarious. Someday I will tell it, but if you take one of my tours, I'm on there, ask me, and I will give you the unedited version of my story. Okay. But you see all of these people going online, going, gut it, remodel it, tear it down.
Got it, remodel it, tear it down.
Okay. He's got to do something with it.
Circus?
Dude.
That place is paid for, and families still
Exactly.
to this day, it's a cheap place to bring your family, and there's something for everyone.
It stays 90% full all
the
year
time.
round.
Families have been coming here forever
Exactly.
and going there because they can do something with their kids.
Exactly. And
the dad can still run off and go gamble while the mom does something with the kids, and then they swap off.
Phil is 80 years old. He's a multimillionaire. He didn't get that way by spending money where it didn't need to be spent.
Right. Yeah. Put the money into the hotel rooms. Keep the hotel rooms up and current and modern.
Clean it up.
But, yeah.
Okay.
But there's no reason to gut the whole thing.
If you don't like it, you don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a rat's ass. It's already full.
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't stay there because
No.
we don't have kids. I mean,
so
it would be, why would we want to go where there's all those kids?
But then there's a second part of this, is he's got that 80 acres right on the corner of Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yep.
Which has literally sat empty since 1965.
Wow, that's crazy.
When it burned down. Now, some people think that it's haunted because of things that could be buried.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Hoffa might be there. Okay.
Well, let's do something about it. Let's dig it up. Let's find out. Let's get some answers.
Right. But that whole north end of Las Vegas is going through a revival.
Yeah.
And, he picked it up for what? I think he picked it up for $700 million. That land in a year is going to be worth.
In today's market? Oh.
Yeah. Right there on that corner.
Yeah. In today's market.
Circus. He doesn't have to do a thing to it other than what he did with.
That's the cash cow. Leave that alone.
What he did with the Frontier. Change the duct tape on the carpeting every now and then. Scrape the nicotine off the windows. Cash the checks.
Go in and remodel the bedroom or remodel the rooms once in a while because you want to keep your rooms modern. You want to keep the bedding comfortable and the plumbing working well.
Yep. That's it.
Yep.
It ain't changing, folks.
Yep.
If you don't want to stay there, don't stay there. But families love it. It's booked 90, it's got like a 95%
all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have not really looked in the last 6 months, but very few hotels on the Vegas Strip anymore are above 70% occupancy rate for that long of a period of time. So,
except for Circus.
Phil,
don't expect much.
Yeah. Phil became a multimillionaire because he knows what he's doing. So, and MGM needed the money really, really badly, and he's got cash because he sold the new Frontier for $1 billion. So, it's like, well, okay. So, all right. That's my rant for our first podcast
we're
in
back.
ages.
We kind of ranted a little bit, but
yes, in a couple
we got to
weeks.
start somewhere, right?
Yes. So in a couple weeks we'll have start a series of them with some very interesting Vegas locals connections stories.
Nice. Sounds fun.
Frank Collada, our favorite mobster, is starting his mob tour up in a bus again, and so I've got to nail him down again.
That'd be fun.
God, if I could get him and Dennis, the FBI agent that arrested him, to sit down again
together. Yeah.
I got to find out if Dennis is even alive yet. I'll have to ask Denny Griffin. Links are up on the website. What is the name of the website?
TheVegasTourist.com.
All right. Also have that is the same name on Instagram and Twitter. The links will be in the show notes. Say good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. Oh.
Leave us your comments and your questions. Send them to the Vegas Tourist @thevegastourist@gmail.com if you have any comments, any questions. Visit us on YouTube and the whole works. You guys all know the story, and
you got to tell the new guys. There might be a new one out there.
There might be. So, I feel good to be back. To you?
Yeah, it is kind of neat to be back. I'm hoping when school starts up in a couple weeks, it doesn't bog me down too much.
Okay. All right. That's it. See y'all. Carl Safe Sax Ferris, thank you for the music, and he's going to take us on out. See y'all next time.
Good night.
It's getting dark, shows